What can I say about the first 5 hours? They are torturous. It is very painful. It is very difficult. It was a struggle. Hi there, this is Dee and I'm the CEO of Too Many Hobbies. In this video, I'm going to break down how I learned how to roller skate in just 20 hours, or maybe tried to roller skate in just 20 hours. I also made a video prior to this where I break down what are the things that you need to learn before you start roller skating.
Yo, do a kickflip!
So that includes gear, references, people you need to connect with or people you need to follow. If you want to see that video, it's up in here. It's here somewhere, but yeah, go check that out. It's going to be super helpful, especially if you don't know where to get started. So quick disclaimer before I get started is that what might work for me might not work for you. So please take my advice with a grain of salt.
Too salty.
And as with everyone else's advice, because your journey is not the same as someone else's. So if you're not learning at the pace you want, be gentle on yourself. And if I am not learning at your pace, please be gentle on me. So let's get started. The first 5 hours. What can I say about the first 5 hours? They are torturous. It is very painful. It is very difficult. It was a struggle. So every time I wore my skates during this time period is that it would be, I don't know, it really hurt me. Physically and mentally, because number one, your body doesn't know what to do.
Who are you?
And that's a fact. Like, your body doesn't know what to do. Even if you tell it, like, hey, you need to do this. This is proper form. Even when people are telling this to your ear, your body doesn't know that. It has to learn, it has to practice. So whenever I wore my skates, they were essentially boots with wheelie death traps. I didn't like that, but I had to push through for the sake of learning. At this point, since you can't really trust your body and you can't trust even your skates, you have to learn how to trust your gears.
Yeah!
So the best way you can trust your gear is by buying the best gear available within your budget. So invest in the best protective gear there is, and if you can, get a butt pad.
Look at her butt.
So I don't know what you call this. It could be a butt pad or a hip pad, but it's like this thing. So I didn't include this in my first video because I didn't buy it before then, and it's not something every person who learns how to skate necessarily needs. But it is very helpful, and it was very helpful for me to have that because it gave me an extra bit of protection for my tush. Because the first 2 times that I started to skate, I fell on my little peach. So I fell really bad. Not only did that happen, but also I had a sprain. So I had wrist sprain for about, I think, 2 weeks, which impeded my learning process a lot. So number one, the ankle guards are very important, and you should know and you should learn how to fall properly. Because that's something that might save you from potential injuries. It's very difficult because you're trying to learn and then you get injured, and nothing just puts you off than, you know, having injuries. So hi, quick status update. I really had a pretty good session. It was about 45 minutes. I honestly could skate more. I mean, I wanted to skate more, but I'm exhausted. My feet they can't do it anymore. I've been falling during the last round, which is fine. It's fine to fall because my feet are just so exhausted. I can't do it anymore, even though I want to. I'm actually enjoying it. No progress yet on the toe stops, but on stopping using the toe stops. But yeah, one day at a time. I need to review the material again on how to stop, because at this point I am just hugging the wall. I can do a T-stop, I'm learning the toe stop, and I kind of understand the principle of the toe stop now, but it's kind of hard because at the last minute, especially if you're practicing in a very short and a very small space, you tend to put your foot down really, really fast, so that it'll just make you trip more. So that's my update. Yeah. This first 5 hours took me a long time. So the total time elapsed for these 5 hours to accumulate was practically 5 to 6 weeks. Because in that time, I had a sprain. I tried to skate with it while having the sprain, and it just wasn't working out. I ended up hurting myself more, which led me to taking a longer break, and then I had a vaccination. It took me a long time to finish 5 hours. So in the first 5 hours, your body will learn how to adapt with the skates on. This is the time that they will feel very, very heavy. You know, you kind of can't lift them. So I also had a hard time doing drills. So people would advise you, oh, you could do drills, standing up, putting your feet and doing all sorts of drills. But your body just doesn't know how to do it yet. Your feet aren't trained. So just try to wear your skates as much as possible if you can. If you're not comfortable trying to skate, or every time you skate, you fall, just wear them, try to stand up. And what I did was I tried to do squats. I tried to balance on one foot. I don't know if that's dangerous. It might have been dangerous, but that's what I did because I couldn't do the drills that people were teaching because my body couldn't. My feet just won't do it. I've had experience ice skating, but not as a regular thing. But I understood the concept of when you skate, you put your weight on your right foot and your left foot instead of just using it as steps. I think that kind of helped me in my head. I was able to skate eventually, but of course, the proper form was yet to be learned. So at the end of my 5 hours, what I was able to learn is that I was able to move forward slowly. So just like a regular person skating, I was just able to get that in my system, like being able to glide, if you even call it gliding. So my top tips for getting through the first 5 hours is to 1, get through them as fast as you can, because there's just no way out of this very awkward stage. This is the most difficult phase there is. Just get over it as quickly as you can. Try to clock in those 5 hours and you'll be surprised at the progress that you have. And number 2 is to get the gear that is necessary. Like if you need a hip pad, a butt pad, if you just have that inkling that it would give you that extra layer of protection, go get it because you need it. And for tip number 3 is try to learn how to fall, and just put it in your head that for you to learn is you should be able to know how to fall properly. It's counterintuitive. I mean, your instincts will tell you not to fall. It will try to prevent you from falling, especially your hands. You will try to break your fall. Even up to now, I still don't know how to fall in a way that's, quote unquote proper, but I've avoided having to fall on my hands like this. Hours 6 to 10. So in between hours 6 and 10 is a period where I learned the most. So as much as grueling as the first 5 hours were, I can't say the same for the 6 to 10 hours because they were amazing. I felt that the skates were no longer a threat, so I wasn't afraid of them anymore. I was still afraid of falling. I was afraid of falling for a reason. I wasn't afraid of falling just because I had my skates on. I was afraid that if I screwed up, I would fall. If I made a mistake, I would fall. Unlike the first 5 hours, I was afraid that I put them on, I would fall. I was able to see improvement very fast. And this is evident in the time frame that I did the next 5 hours because I finished it in only 2 weeks. So I was able to bring all of that practice inside my 2 weeks, and it was amazing. I also have quite a few stories. So in hours 6 to 10, I was able to move from my small practice area into the garage, so I had more space. But needless to say, I was still very dependent on the foundation of the house. So I was just hugging walls all the time because I couldn't stop. I could go, I could move forward, but I couldn't really stop. So this was a time that I was learning how to stop, and also I was just trying to master, or I was just trying to learn and get acquainted to how I was moving in skates. Actually, at the end of this period, I kind of was moving fast, right? But, you know, I still had near misses, like near falls. But I had this one time where I panicked. I clung to the wall and fell like in a weird twisty fashion. And it was so bad. It really looks bad on camera, but it was also bad in real life. It happens. You tend to panic.
What's the procedure?
So like I said earlier, learning how to fall is very crucial. And it's also a skill because it's not easy to go against your instincts of, you know, trying to fall. So it would save itself. Your mind said, hey, save yourself. Yeah, I kind of hurt myself there. Now, some of these videos, you can see that while I was going about my business, just skating in circles, I didn't have the best form. The most common advice that you would hear is that to bend your knees, like bend your knees. Now, I kind of have a love and hate relationship with this advice because number one, it is very helpful and it is true. However, your body doesn't know how to bend your knees. Like, it doesn't know how to bend your knees without hunching over or being in some weird other contortionate form. Is that a word? Torsionate. Anyway, it doesn't know how to do that. So as much as I understand this advice, like bend your knees, I cannot bend my knees. There's just no way. Even people who haven't skated will tell you to bend your knees. I don't get it. Have you skated? I think during hours 6 to 10, I was learning a lot, and I think I was learning a lot on my own. And even watching the videos, watching the advice, you know, I think at some point you have to shut down everything. Like, oh, I've learned this. After you've read it, just take it. Don't look back, just go with it and then learn along the way. I think the best advice I received in the 6 to 10 hour mark is to stretch. Because I didn't like stretching, and just stretching just helps, you know, that's basic. Another notable thing that happened, here's a funny video where I kind of beheaded a little succulent of mine. So there you go. It broke off, the poor thing, just because I was hugging walls incessantly. Poor thing broke off. But good thing about succulents, you can replant them.
I accidentally broke the plant. Oh, poor sucky.
So other than getting acquainted to the basic motions of skating, in hours 6 to 10, I also got to work on how to stop. So using plow stop and using the toe stops. I tried doing the T-stop, but I'm not able to learn it even today. So I had difficulty learning the T-stop, and it also wears down the wheels faster. So personally, I'd rather wear down my toe stop instead of my wheels. But again, it depends on the situation, what kind of stop is appropriate for the kind of skating that I like and I plan to do, which is just outdoors. I think a plow stop and a T-stop might not be the best, but I can get by with a plow stop at the moment. So I had to learn how to do those. And I think at the end of the 10 hours, I was quite golden. So the top tip I have for 6 to 10 hours, or whenever you're ready, like when you're confident enough to build up other skills other than just skating forward, is that you should learn how to stop so as not to injure other people and to avoid any other accidents. The first 15 hours 11 to 15. So hours 11 to 15 was an interesting period for me because I kind of played around in this time, because first I knew how to move forward and I knew how to stop. So in the terms of the skating style that I wanted, that was essentially what I needed. So I just needed to go and stop and maybe turn and a few other tricks. But other than that, I was pretty happy with my progress. I am very, very much happy from the high the last 6 to 10 hours gave me. So I played around at this part. It's interesting because I used to wear dresses a lot. My day-to-day, I wear dresses. However, when I practice, I wear shorts and, shirts that clung to your body. So when I started wearing more of these fun, dresses and skirts, it didn't feel right. It took a hit on my performance, and I could see that I wasn't doing as well as when I was wearing workout clothes. So it was interesting. So what I started doing is that I started to try to dress up a bit more, try to make it look more a bit aesthetic, if that's the word, because a lot of girls that I see roller skating, they're wearing their dresses, they're with their friends, hanging out, enjoying. I want that too, and I really, really want that. However, it was just taking a hit. My performance was just taking a hit. I couldn't practice well. Although I like wearing dresses, I just wasn't comfortable with them while skating. So I started being more proactive and just dressing up for skating. So I also wanted to add more pizzazz to my skating. So I also wore accessories. I bought nice long socks, and I've also ordered more socks online. I kind of do have very wide calves. So if you're someone who has really wide calves, and I bought these socks, and they're not really the best kind of socks in terms of width, because they don't really go out that far. So if you're a mid-size plus size person, these might not fit you. I know they didn't fit me right, so there you go. I bought these nice little socks online. They are designed for people with bigger calves. So if that's something you're interested in, link is in the bio. So in this phase, I was able to start learning transitions, and my stops have become smoother, and also they've become more efficient. Like, I can stop when I want to at this point. I've also learned how to stabilize myself. So when I'm standing in a position, I know how to put a toe stop down, or I know how to put my feet in a T position so that I wouldn't really budge, So my top tip here kind of depends on what your skating goals are. For me, I would say for someone like me who just learned how to skate like the basics, I would just explore, find out what's out there, how I can make this hobby even more enjoyable for myself, or maybe meet other people, and if Miss Rona isn't around, but yes. But if you're someone with more distinct skate goals, like if you want to do jam, this might be the time where you start experimenting with more complex moves or techniques. The first 20 hours, 16 to 20 hours. So for the last 5 hours of practice, I just did the same things from the previous 5 hours. I'm still working on transitions. I'm still learning how to turn. I've learned to enjoy music, because back when I was a few hours earlier, I wasn't able to enjoy music the way I did when I skated before, because I was so focused on skating. But even up to now, what I notice is that when I get too engrossed in the music, I just fall. So there needs to be that certain level of focus when it comes to skating. One miscalculation can lead to a fall, but I'm able to be more happier. Skating just made me more happier at this point. I was more expressive. And I think the interesting part here is that I felt like I needed to explore the other skating styles. Like, I wanted to dance. Like, I wanted to dance on my skates. Whereas it wasn't really a goal in the beginning. So I'm discovering these things for myself, and I just really enjoyed looking at myself.
Stop it. Get some help.
This was a time where I just set up a camera, not only to record myself, but also to see what was going on. And I'm just happy seeing myself, enjoying myself. It's amazing. This was also the point, since I've been an exclusive outdoor, say, garage skater for the past few hours, I had to get a tripod from inside the home wearing my skates. Normally, I would be too scared, but yeah, I felt confident enough that I could trust my toe stops. It's fine. And this was the first time I skated inside the house.
I'm so excited. So I've never skated indoors. So I've always been an outdoor skater, albeit in the garage, but outdoors. Now this is the first time that my that my skates have touched the floor, like the marble floor, and like, holy guys, why did you not tell me that it felt like butter? Literal butter. It's like, guys, you've been skating like this the entire time? Like, holy hell, this is amazing. It feels so good and slippery, but it feels like butter. It's, woo. Oh my god. It's unreal. I'm flipping out. Ah! It's so good.
So unreal. Like skating on marble floor, marble tile, it's unreal. Because when I skate in the garage, because our garage has pebbles, it's very rough. It's not as rough, but it's different. So being able to skate on very smooth floor was a different experience. However, my skates, the Kayas, the Kaya Deluxe, I think, they have outdoor wheels, so they weren't really suited for indoor skating, and they kind of felt grippy. So I tried skating indoors a few more times, but yeah, it was scary because it was a different terrain. It was scarier than it was outdoors, but it felt so nice. And the way I would describe how the floor felt for someone as a first-time skater on indoor tile, it feels like velvet. It feels so smooth, like butter married velvet. Imagine that. I finally finished roller skating for 20 hours, and I did it all inside my garage. With Miss Rona and all, we really can't go out much, but we found a skate park outdoors, which was fairly secluded and very open, so we decided to go for it. Here's the first time that I saw the the park. It was massive. It was massive.
Hi, this is our first time to skate out. We're at an actual road for skating, and there are ramps and skateboarders out there. But this is my first time, and this is actually my first time on a different terrain. Fun.
So yeah, I was just so overjoyed at that moment because I was finally able to skate outdoors and finally feel what it's like, because being in that garage, and I know I am privileged to have enough space in my home so I could do that, but when you are outside, you can feel the elements, like the wind, like you can feel the wind, and then there's certain speed that you would reach that you couldn't do at home, obviously. So it was a very refreshing experience, and since that time of filming, we've been there again, and we're scheduled to go again tomorrow. Actually, it was really fun. And yeah, so that's my 20 hours of skating. So that's me learning how to skate in 20 hours. So for the verdict, if I were to grade myself, I'd give myself an A+, because I did the things that I set out to do and the goals that I had in my first video, which is essentially to skate outdoors and just, skate forward, stop, maybe backwards, and that basic stuff, because I just wanted to skate, like enjoy it, like freestyle it. In my journey, however, I did find that there are certain skate styles out there that I might want to explore. And so overall, I think my experience with roller skating has been very positive. It had a bumpy start because I wasn't athletic at all. I'm still not. So that might be a major roadblock for someone like myself too. But so far, after that first 5 hours, first 10 hours, I was just, I was chill. I kind of knew, like, my body knew what it needed to do, and, it just adapts. All you need is practice. Your journey is not the same as my journey or anyone else's journey. So follow your journey, because that is the best way. Try not to be hard on yourself when you're learning.
So that was my 20-hour skating experience. Will I still skate? Yeah, probably, and it's just a lot of fun. But I do have to admit that it's kind of daunting when you're trying it out on a new terrain. But I think it's just a bit of practice. I should go here more often, and thank you for tuning in. Bye!
So wait, before you leave, I just want you to know that the first 20 hours is a series that I'm continuously doing as I learn other skills in just 20 hours, or at least try to. So if you click any of the videos on the screen, That will take you to my other journeys as well. But thank you so much for accompanying me in my roller skating journey of learning how to skate in 20 hours. I hope to see you soon. Bye!